I'm Christopher Zweig, and this week on CJ at the Movies, I review the Super Mario Bros. Movie with the voices of Chris Pratt and Charlie Day, Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston back in their 2019 roles in Murder Mystery 2, Kyra Sedgwick's directorial debut of Space Oddity, Mark Jenkin's latest entry, an elevated horror film called Enys Men, and Tetris, the story of a video game that was brought to life by a man who believed it deserved international rights. Let's take a look. Our first movie is the Super Mario Bros. Movie, the new animated feature from Illumination based on the worldwide popular video game characters. The pre-release criticism target Chris Pratt voicing Mario despite the fact that he isn't of Italian descent, and fans prefer the original voice actor Charles Martinet. I'm no gaming expert, but I can tell when the movie wants to be fun for its targeted audience and even those who don't play the game, and Pratt actually does a pretty good job voicing Mario.
Yes! Fire! You asked for it! This is fun!
The all-star cast also includes Charlie Day as his brother Luigi, Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, and Jack Black as the fire-breathing Bowser, who plans to rule the world.
There's a human, has a mustache, just like you.
You think I know every human being with a mustache wearing an identical outfit with a hat with the letter of his first name on it? Because I don't!
The Super Mario Bros. Movie doesn't have the kind of story the Lego Movie had, and that also featured the voices of Pratt and Day, but take it from Uncle Chris, this is a colorful ride in terms of its animation, voice actors, 80s music, and spirit of the game, so check it out! Our next movie is Murder Mystery 2, and the best thing I could say about this Adam Sandler sequel is that it's not as bad as you expect, it's unfunny, but not as painfully as unfunny as Jack and Jill or Grown Ups 2. He and Jennifer Aniston reprised their 2019 roles as the New York couple who fail at starting their own detective agency, but are invited to a lavish wedding where their good friend gets kidnapped. Mark Strong comes in as an agent who helps the couple with the hostage exchange by taking them to Paris, where things once again go off the rails.
Give us the money.
All right, we got it.
Shoot this guy! I don't want to kill anybody! Oh! What? Oh my god!
Even in Sandler's previous bombs, some of them better guilty pleasures than others, he manages to score some laughs, but the humor in Murder Mystery 2 is too typical for us to really be engaged in. He and Aniston both have chemistry, and the sequel has the looks and feels of a stylish action comedy, so it's not a complete pile of doo-doo, pun intended, but we're basically going through the same formulas out of the first film, and it feels derivative, so skip it. Next up we have Space Oddity, and no, it's no biopic on the hit David Bowie song, but rather a small rom-com with Kyra Sedgwick making her directorial debut, and while it has its flaws, it still has its heart in the right place regarding a young man who wishes to live the rest of his life on Mars to overcome the loss of his brother and for what humanity has done to the Earth. Kyle Allen stars as the boy, and it's a rom-com because he wants to buy a life insurance policy, which seems unusual to the young agent played by Alexandra Shipp.
Got any plans tonight?
I'm studying the composition of Martian dirt.
Wow, this is beautiful. Oh, I think I hear your father.
Well, I'm actually heading somewhere right now. I'm late for something. You could come.
Okay, yeah.
Great.
Kevin Bacon, Sedgwick's husband, co-stars as the dad who owns a flower farm, and like the rest of his family, he wants the boy to stay here on Earth. In fact, he decides to pass down the farm to him.
Sign it over to you.
I'm going to Mars.
You're not actually going, Alex.
I am going.
But I'm giving this to you.
I don't want it.
I looked into your mission.
And?
And it's a bunch of ifs and maybes.
It's a risk.
It's giving up.
But somehow, life finds a way.
That is from Jurassic Park.
No. Wait, it is from Jurassic Park.
Space Oddity doesn't completely reach for the stars, but it does have enough oxygen and life for us to see what these characters are going through and how they can overcome their drama. I'm not too big on its choice of humor, but I do admire its poetic aspects on why anyone would want to leave Earth, and how there are those who believe it can still survive, but mostly it's about the importance of family and never giving up on life. So check it out! Our next movie is Enys Men, a horror film from Mark Jenkin, who also made Bait. Shot on 16mm film, it looks great in the format of a 1970s film, especially since it takes place in 1973, but the story has us in question. It's about a woman who is examining a rare flower in isolation off the Cornish coast, and ends up struggling to figure out what is real and what is a nightmare. Now, Enys Men is a riveting and scary looking film, and I applaud Jenkins for keeping me at the edge of my seat and for guiding Mary Woodvine as the woman, but I was also confused about where the story was going to lead into. I think the film should have been longer to give us more depth to the character about what happened in her life and why she's seeing what she thinks she's seeing. It's an ambitious project that's missing a few things. And our last movie is Tetris, which tells the story on how the popular video game was created and distributed, and believe me, it was not that easy. Taron Egerton stars as Hank Rogers, the bulletproof software game designer who was fascinated in the game and felt it deserved to be given international rights.
It's poetry, art, and math all working in magical synchronicity. It's the perfect game.
The game was designed by Alexei Pajitnov, played here by Nikita Yerifimov, who lives in the USSR, which isn't the best place to be selling video games, and since Hank is ambitious to collaborate with the Game Boy device, he travels there where he is spied on and threatened by the KGB, who accuse him of being a threat.
This is the inventor of Tetris.
Your game is brilliant. I'm gonna make you a millionaire.
Mr. Rogers, have you ever negotiated with the Soviets?
We're here for Tetris.
Вы все здесь только ради денег.
What do you say? I don't speak Russian.
The most powerful man in Communist Party is watching you and your family.
Do you know where your husband is?
What the hell is going on?
The world is changing, and Soviet Union will not be left behind.
You want to play with the big boys? This is how the world works.
Tetris has retro video game vibes that want to mimic The Social Network and maybe a little bit of Argo if you count an airplane sequence. The writing may not have fans comparing this movie to the game, but there are some entertaining performances and dangerous aspects to keep them entertained. I've never played the game or even heard of the creators and collaborators, but I know the movie is about politics, rights, and greed, and seeing them merge together makes my viewing quite challenging. Okay, recapping this week's new movies, thumbs up for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, thumbs down for Murder Mystery 2, thumbs up for Space Oddity, thumbs down for Enys Men, although it does look great and feels great, just needed a story, and thumbs up for Tetris. I'm Christopher Zweig, happy Easter and Passover, depending on your religion, and I'll see you at the movies. For more amazing content, please like and subscribe to my channels, and please read my reviews at cjatthemovies.com and download the new HD Radio app.